So hello guys, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will see what is server-side template injection. We will go deep into it. We will also see how to find it, what are the steps to mitigation. We will also do some tools to automate finding it, and we will also do some advanced exploitation and try to gain RC on some environments. So let's get into it. So here we are on my computer screen, and first of all we will start this with what is SSRF. Okay, so first of all, why SSTI is happening, not SSRF, sorry. What is the main cause behind SSTI and what is the definition of SSTI? First of all, SSTI means server side template injection. SSTI means server side template injection. Okay, so why it's happening? It's because template engines are widely used as web application to present dynamic data via web pages and emails, unsafely embedding user input in template enable server side, which enables server-side template injection. Now, web developer uses template engines, popularly dynamic data, into modern web pages. This enables them to separate business logic with penetration logic. When web pages come from web templates, they can structure the component of web pages in a such way that they can be modified independently of each other. A component can include anything like header, footer, content such as videos, images, audio. So there are a lot of things that you can use for templates. So now templates engines are commonly used as displays. It is commonly used for displaying information about user, product, companies, displaying gallery, photos and videos, selling products online, sending bulk emails and something like that. So now a SSTI vulnerability occurs when user data is embedded directly in a template and then interpreted by template engine. This allows attacker to inject arbitrary directive to manipulate the template engine. So now here is a basic example. Let me zoom in. So this is your website and this is your parameter John. Now you are just trying to inject a simple SSTI payload, which is like curly brackets 7 multiply 7, and now in this case whenever you are just typing your name equals to John, then you are just getting response hello John. But in this case what you got is hello 49, 7 into 7 49. So it's doing a mathematical calculation and it is giving you output as hello 49. So there is a server-side template injection possible. Now server-side template injection can impact in various ways, from information disclosure to accesses to even RCs. So here are some resources that we are going to read about this thing, and then we will go ahead. So first of all, let me copy this link. So what is SSTI and how to prevent it, right? SSTI tend to be less researched than other types of flaw. However, their impact is significant as often lead to RC, as I said. Right, so there are flaw that should not be underestimated. So what is SSTI? SSTI vulnerability occur when user data is embedded directly in a template and then interpreted by template engine. These allow attackers to inject arbitrary directive into to manipulate the template engine, as I said simply. So in what situation does this vulnerability occurs? So the source of problem is that the data is transmitted by user, interpreted directly by the template engine as dynamic data instead of being integrated as fixed data. So just you are just giving an input which is directly interpreted instead of getting an integrated fixed data. So like as you can see that here you are giving a value and it is getting interpreted, and you are getting the response by doing the mathematical calculation, and you are getting response as 49, right? An SSTI usually occur when template is modified to obtain a customized result for a specific need or user have access to the template modification functions. Okay, now a concrete example might be an SSTI vulnerability in a web application that provide user a way to manage template of the email sent by application. A basic template is defined for all the emails, but a user can modify certain fields. The template engine then generates the final email. If the user injects expression into the template and they are evaluated by the engine, the functionality will be vulnerable. Note: SSTI flow does not systematically leads to an RC or and a server compromise. It depends on the situation. It is not fixed that if you are found an RC, then you can definitely able to do RC. If you found SSTI, then it doesn't mean that you are getting RC from that thing. Okay, so now the main point: how to find SSTI. So SSTI are less often discovered as they are less researched than the cross-site scripting flaws. For example, their identification takes place in two parts. You can just identify them in these two parts. The first phase of detection of the vulnerabilities. Second phase to identify the template engine used. So now how to identify the vulnerability. First step, to determine whether an application is vulnerable. So an effective way to approach the first in all data with a payload containing special characters. So like you can first the whole page or whole data using some special characters, or like if you are just making a profile, you're just adding an HTML tag like h1 tag name and something like that. Then you can also try to inject some this type of profiles, like when you are making profile in first name, you added the curly bracket 7x7, and whenever you are just doing whenever you are able to see that name on other page and it is like 49, right? So it is vulnerable to SSTI, right? Now if an error message is written in the server response in this case, then this indicates that the application is potentially vulnerable. Analyzing the error message could help determine which template engine is being used. So now we have to that's what template engine is used. Okay, so example of error method with the Toronto template engine in Python, which injecting curly bracket payload. So uh, let's assume that it is using the tornado template, sorry, and it is injecting the double curly bracket payload into a vulnerable parameter. So now you can exploit it by this thing, right? And I will also show you some tools which will help you to find this type of things. So now template injection can occur in two different contexts. Plain text context. Now plain text context, many template injections allow content to be entered directly into HTML tag or using template injection tags. Right, this content will be interpreted on server before the server return HTTP response. Okay, so in this case it is recommended to send mathematical formulas like this thing. Okay, so if you are getting answer of this thing like 49, that it means it is potentially vulnerable. Now the second is context code, when user input are directly inserted into expression evaluated by template engine. In this case the idea is to modify the relevant parameter while trying to generate an error. Okay, for more you can just go to this article. I will mention these links, don't worry about it. Now identify the template engine used. So how you can identify the template engine used, right? Okay, you can look at here. This is a key step, right? Many template engines exist. Among the most popular we can mention Twig for PHP, FreeMaker for Java, ERB for Ruby, and Jinja for Python. Okay, now the identification method is similar to what was mentioned in detecting the vulnerability, successfully generating an error and often make it possible to identify the template engine used, right? So now when this method fails, for example, error messages are not displayed in the server response, is the possible proceed elimination by testing simple payloads, right? So now what you will do is to try analyze the server response should not be determined whether or not operation transmitted was interpreted, right? So depending on the syntax used, this will give you an indication of the template engine used. You can find list of payloads for template engines. It is the payload of all box. Payload of all thing and their template injection payloads according to their things like methodology about the SSTI and other things. You can see here. I will also share this link. So now it's all about the theory, right? Now we have to see some practicals, or we will just look at these reports quickly, and then we will just go to the medium blogs, and I will show you some juicy content, and I will show you some hack the box challenges that you can do to do this thing. So server side template injection. Okay, so we know what is server side injection, right? So what is the basic scenario here, or what our like the writer Jay Pomal, I don't know, I'm just pronouncing it right or wrong. He tried to perform SSTI on web security like port figure, right? You can see that. Now we can see the URL message. You can, if you see here, there is a parameter message equals to. So what as an attacker, what we are doing here is we are trying to inject a payload, basic payload here, but we are not getting anything error. It is just displaying here. So what we can do is now at this time we need to identify the server side template injection can be implemented here or not. Now we are at a point we have to decide it is there or not. So in order to do that, first we need to identify which template is being used. To do, we will try different template syntax or try to generate an error. Okay, as I showed you the payload list, you can try to brute force them, or not actually brute force them. Try to find which type of which template engine is here. So okay, now he finally found that this one is vulnerable to like this thing Ruby, right? So now as he find that it is vulnerable to Ruby, he entered some payload. He is getting the valid responses. Okay, now what we are going to do is, as we can see template uses Ruby code, we can search how can we perform system command using Ruby. It looks like very easy. So our output will be like you are entering this system command, write the system command, and you are getting this ID. You're getting the IDs of Carlos and UID, GID and other things, right? So it's a kind of very good thing. It is not that popular or not that research. It is not often common to search about this, so you can just learn it, and there are some tools which can help you a lot. So now let's go to the third one, and we will see some amazing content after it. Gaining shell using SSTI, right? It is a nice blog, I guess. It's on. Okay, it's a lab, right? Okay. Basically, he tried to inject this type of place like hints with SSTI, and he's getting a valid response. You can see there. So now what he's trying to do is, as you can see, that is basically working on the double curly brackets. So now he's just found this RC command, or not actually. He tried to execute the ID command here. Okay, and he's able to do this at the ID command here, and he also able to get some. He's also create. Oh wait, that's interesting. This is good, but we can make me happier. I was a shell on the server. He's trying to upload a shell on the server, so he quickly generated a meterpreters payload and got it to execute on the server to get a remote shell, right? So he was just simply able to do that, right? And you can see that he got the session. You can see that he got the session, and he was able to upload a shell and execute it. So now let's see some. So let's break down what we have learned yet. SSTI is a thing that we are just how to detect actually SSTI. Go on a target, find the input parameter, go there, try some payloads to get error or to get some valid response. You can start with the double curly brackets. You can try the Ruby payloads, and you can try the different payloads, and you can see which service engine, which engine template engine is running there, and you can try to exploit it if it is there. Try your best to find it on parameters, and there is a tool which can do it for you. I will show it soon, but first of all, let's complete the HackerOne report breakdown, so you will be clear about this. HackerOne SSTI reports. So So there are some reports. To practice to like these are opening, so let me take it to this thing. If you want to practice SSTI, then try to go to this website, Portugal. This is much better to learn SSTI vulnerability, and there are some labs available on GitHub. I will mention the link in the description so you can check it out. You can just also solve the labs to learn more about SSTI. And you can also see this YouTube video by Cobalt. This one was amazing if you want to just get deep into SSTI. And these are the payload link I mentioned here. So you can see there our attacker is able to get this type of double quote double quote SSTI, and he was able to do that SSTI on the email section. Like, let me open this. Let me download it. It's not opening properly. He's able to just doing that object here. If he's just doing double quote as object, so he's getting the object as a reference, but he was not clear about it, that it is an as SSTI or not. So he just cleared here that could be a server side template injection that can be used to take over on the server. Okay, but actually he said I am playing with return magic workflow, and there seems some kind of template injection, but I'm not sure if it is exploitable or even valid. Okay, so he is not valid about it, but it was valid. He was on this in this area, shop.myshopify.com/admin app return magic. Now he's opened the settings, he go into email workflow, and then he clicked on the edit for any email template, and then at the editor click the code icon and the enter. He tried to enter this type of thing. Now go back to workflow and click send me a test email for the template injection for the template you edited, and enter your email. Check your inbox, and then you will see object. So he was not actually clear about it, and it is a SSTI or not. So it was a great finding. You can see that the bounty is $10,000 right there. Now Uber.com RC by Flask Jinja template injection. So in the okay, right, so you can see here our attacker changed the profile name to this SSTI payload, right, and you will receive a mail that your Uber account information has been updated. So now in the mail body he got this response. Like every time it doesn't mean that if you try to do this thing 7x7, it is not fixed that you are getting this type of reference. Sometimes you can get this type of response like 7 times 7. So this is also possible. Okay, so he saw that there is an SSTI possible. Now may RC, you can see here. So he tried to inject some, like look here, he thinks that it can be done RCE, but there is still a length limit. But I still write some Python code in name field, and there are more examples in attachment, and below are my payloads. So here are some payloads. So let's take a look at the payloads. Okay, so he was able to he entered this type of payload. He is getting some data, right? Now you can also see that the mail that he got, like hi 77777, your email your account is recently been updated. You can see that he's just doing this payload right here. He's trying to doing some things, and he was able to do that thing. You can see that basic strings. So you can see that this one was got trashed, and another $10,000 right there. This was a great finding, by the way. So reflected access as SSTI in all HubSpot CMS. Alright, so where it is. So here is the full POC. He found this path. So this means that the controlled by HubSpot service, right? So and the affected parameter was this referrer URL equals to and he set it to display our SSTI payload and the response containing the result of evaluated expression 49. Alright? Okay, so now he tried to exploit it by Jinja injection, but he got failed. Illegal characters in query at index 81. He's getting this error. So now he tried reflected accesses, and he was able to break out the element by this payload. So you can see that. Let me open it. He was able to do accesses here. You can see here, right? Now accesses was awesome, as it is awesome, by the way. So that was it. He tried to do SSTI, but he was getting a bit failed, and he's trying to execute some RC or other payloads rather than the mathematical calculation. But it is still an SSTI. It is vulnerable to SSTI, but he is not. But he or she, I don't know, is he? He is not able to exploit it, right? Now SSTI at UGS test server. It is on the test server, not on a web app. We'll take a look at it soon. Now let's go ahead. From multiple vulnerability to AT or any customer account and staff account, right? So where this SSTI here? We are here for SSTI. I don't think there is an SSTI, I guess. Let's search for it. Okay. Oh, we can't inject bad things like here. Okay, so it is not an actual SSTI. POC. So that was a basic idea about SSTI. All right. So now what next we can do? So we saw what is SSTI, what are the basic steps to mitigate it. We will see it. I mentioned the links to how to mitigate it. We will also see we also saw how to exploit it, how to identify the templates running behind the services, right? Now it's about the time to find the tools which can do this thing for us. So for that, let me open this thing. I think here it is. No, it's not here, so don't worry about it. You can open your Kali. I'm just opening my cloud machine, my VPS. So our tool is TPL map. Our tool is TPL map here. It is by Epin, I guess. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So this is the tool TPL map, which can do this thing for us. So let's copy the code. We know it is simple to install. It will run by .py. So here I am on this machine. Let me clear it. Let me go to tools. Let me git clone. cdtpl map. Now here are the files. Now how to, like, let's check the help menu. Python 3 tplmap.py -h. So here is the help menu. -h for help, simply -u for URL, how do you want to use it, -x for requests, and this is another request modifications, detections, okay, and other things. So how you can use this tool? You can simply use, let's go to the GitHub repo so you can do it betterly. So this is the example I showed you, right? How you can exploit it. You suppose you got a website, you got a parameter like target.com, page equals to message equals to something. So what you did is page equals to message equals to then paste the whole URL here. Now this will try to find what template is there, and is it vulnerable to SSTI or not. The supported templates are here. There are a lot of templates. These are more than enough, I guess. Okay, so if it is vulnerable, you will see that it is vulnerable to this type of thing. Then you can use hyphen os hyphen shell to get a shell here. Or if you are unable to get a shell, then try to do other things which are possible from SSTI. There are a lot of escalations of SSTI, right? You can try to do XSS and other things. So this is a golden tool if you want to use, if you want to find SSTI, if you are not able to find what template is used there and what are the other things. So you can definitely go for this tool to identify the templates. Okay, it's very simple to use. It is working great. Alright, so this was basically for the video. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and there are our Instagram profiles are in the description, so don't forget to follow them. And if you have any queries, then you can mail us or also DM on Instagram. We will try to reach back to you as soon as possible.